What's up, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Hope everybody is having a great week. Hope everybody's happy on this Friday evening. I just, got in earlier and just wanted to jump on real quick. And I don't know, it's been a good week at the getting of course, our property ready. So made some progress on there, and rain kind of held us up on that, but really made some progress today. So, but anyway, appreciate all the prayers on that. Appreciate you guys, your patience on that. But I'm so excited to get that thing going. It's pretty awesome. So I'm excited about it. So more and more as we get get things rolling, it's exciting to watch it come together like it is. So, but if you get an opportunity, please go by there and go check it out. It's coming along pretty good. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you on here. But anyway, the last couple Sundays we've just been trying to, just steward just a great move of the Holy Spirit, and it's been wonderful. Love you so much, Melissa. Love you. It's been such the last two Sundays have been crazy. It's been just a great move. I've just not even spoke. So a few things that has been kind of on my mind that I never speak about. So that's why I wanted to get on here. That's why I wanted to get on here this evening, because just wanted to share kind of how I felt. Obviously, it's what everybody's talking about, but I never get into the political thing. But a couple of weeks ago we was watching the Trump speech, and I'm not as many as I've always been very vocal about politics and about the left and the right. I don't get into that mess, and never been a big Trump fan. I'm not a big Trump fan, just the way he, just his mouth, really, just his. But anyway, he has some great. Obviously, the 4 years we had him in office was great for America. But anyway, besides all that, I wanted to share how I felt, because I really had a pivotal shift for me, because we were watching. I was cooking, and 2 weeks ago on that Saturday, and we were watching the speech from him, and then all that happened was some him the shooting stuff. But for me, I when he got shot and he bounced up from that, and what really I think really rattled me, because I'm a patriot. I'm patriotism. I love our country. Some of my greatest guys in my family are my heroes that served in the military. I honor my family that has served not only military but police force and done the things they've done. So, I honor them guys, and I hugely respect them guys. So, I don't think politics has anything to do with being a patriot for your country. Matter of fact, I think politics has ruined so many people from being a patriot for our country. But we live in the greatest country in the world. I know, because I've traveled in a lot of other countries of the world. I've been in some rough circumstances. I've been in some tight circumstances, and so I've seen other countries. I've seen people starving to death. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've walked through villages, and there were babies literally dying from starvation, and families dying, and I've seen families that have to walk 4 and 5 miles for water. I've seen where mamas are so embarrassed from their kids because they're starving, they cover their face. And um, I've seen mamas and I've seen families stand in line for 7, 8 hours out of a day just to get a bag of rice. I've seen them walk 7 or 8 miles to do that. And I've been it, I've seen it, I've been part of it. I've watched medically people that um, have no medical. Um, I've seen a kid a youngster, 7, 8 years old, that his daddy had to use a pair of pliers to knock his tooth out of his mouth because they had no kind of, that was their only way of doing things. Uh, I've seen what third world countries have to deal with. I've seen what the water's done. I've experienced it myself. I've got sick just a drop of the water in other countries that would do to me and you that are used to clean water. Uh, I've dealt with that kind of sickness. I've seen the poverty. I've seen how bad it was. I've walked in mud houses and where families live, and families of 10 and 12 are in a 10 by 10 mud house, and they have nothing. I've been there. I've seen it. I've seen the worst of the worst. I was there when they pulled a baby out of the dumpsters and the pigs was about to eat him in Haiti. We were there, experienced that, and because the mom and daddy couldn't take care of him, I experienced it. I've seen the worst of the worst. So to be able to live in a country that we live in, and you learn how to respect and love the country you're in. When you go into these other countries and you go and experience that kind of stuff, you learn to love this. And what's really sad is that we have this generation coming up that they have no honor, they have no respect for our country, and they just do what they want to. We see and we live in a free country. Listen, this is the way I look at things. We live in a free country. You have the freedom to choose if you want to be a same-sex marriage. You have the freedom. If you want to live in a house with somebody you're not married with, we have the freedom. That's the great part about living in America. You have the freedom to worship Allah. You have the freedom to worship Yeshua. You have the freedom to worship of any God you want to. That's the good thing about America. And but to say that part of us about America, we've got it, is because somebody, a man and a woman, fought for that right. You can't do that in other countries. Listen, you live a homosexual life in a Middle Eastern country, they'll kill you. They'll cut your head off for it. Listen, if you steal in a Middle Eastern country, they'll chop your arm off. I'll never forget. We were sitting in Haiti one time, and we heard men screaming, and they had log chained a 18-wheeler tire around a man's neck, and they were screaming out, "Thief, thief!" So, and I was like, "What is going on?" And a lot of them were church, were elders of churches. And I asked Pastor, I was like, "What is going on?" He said, they must have caught him stealing that tire. And he said, what they'll do, they'll haul him down to the police station, log chain that tire to him, and protested that he was a thief. And And if the cops don't do nothing, they usually take care of him. They'll whoop the fire out of him. So for me and you to be able to get to do what we get to do, listen, somebody paid the price for that. Somebody laid their life down so that me and you, or somebody fought for me and you to get to live in the greatest country in the world, man. And again, because I've experienced it firsthand, a lot of people take it for granted that we live here, but I've experienced it firsthand. All the things that are not what we have: starvation, freedom, the freedom of doing everything that we get to do. So that Saturday when Donald Trump, because as a growing up, I remember Reagan being shot that time. Now I was young, but I remember it. I remember the uproar. I remember what happened, but not old enough to really grasp what was taking place. But that Saturday that I was smoking some meat, getting ready for dinner, and that took place when they rose Donald Trump up off from the ground, and everybody's seen this picture 1.2 million times, but when you seen the blood and you seen that, and he told that woman to wait, hold on just a minute, myself thinking he didn't know that he was about to die. He didn't know that he didn't know if the side of his head was shot. He didn't know if he was going to die. He didn't know anything. He seen the blood. He wasn't sure what was happening. You could tell that by all stretch of the matter. But when he told the woman to stop, and if his last words to look in that camera and to look at those people was to say fight, 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 and he's held his hand up like he did, if that was the last words that he ever was able to spoke and we got a hold of, to him, that's what matters. And I seen that. And what happened to me that Saturday is when he done that, it stirred the patriotism in me, because I love this country. I love what this country stands for. I love that we have the freedom to do what we get to do every day. I love to do all these things. And I get so frustrated at the politics that it just makes the patriotism in us just kind of die, because we have some sorry, evil, wicked leaders. And the rate that we're going, and you can, for what it's worth, only a few people ever watch me. So, but the rate that we're going will be a third world country very soon. You can mark my words down. If we don't have a pivotal shift, we're going to be like third world countries that I've went, and I see it happening right before us. And things are going to get out of hand for me and you. People will begin to starve because food's going to be so astronomical price that you're not going to pay. It's going to get rough, and it's going to get difficult. And but when he stood up and he said that fight, it stirred something in me, and my opinion on him shifted a little bit. I would say it shifted a lot, because I've known of Donald Trump for many years. I mean, I've watched boxing. I was Mike Tyson is one of my biggest heroes in sports. I think Mike Tyson is one of the greatest boxers ever got in the ring. I used to mimic him when I used to box when I was young, and we went to Mike Tyson's school that we got taught from there. So I like to mimic him. He was so I remember in that Mike Tyson era, Donald Trump and Trump Towers and the fighting, and then UFC. Being a fan of UFC, seeing what he did for the UFC and Dana White, giving him a place to go. I've watched him through all these years of my life, and so I always knew Donald Trump. But when he, hey, I love you too, Amber. When he done that, it stirred something in me, because a man that don't have to do what he's doing, he ain't got to put none of this on. He don't have to do none of this. Man, that guy could live a nice, very, very comfortable life. And it stirred something in me that I've not had in a long time. So what is all that point to me getting on here is that the fight is different for me. When he stood up and done that, and it may have not done this for anybody else. I don't know. Maybe it's weird, but it just gave me, it kind of gave me, it gave me chills, because I seen a man I recognize the aggression. I recognize that grit, that you got to have. And I get a lot of people don't, but there's a times in mine in your life that we got to get that spiritual grit. And I think I've not voted, and I've never really said this, but I have not voted since just hold a second, since Bush, personally, because I feel personal conviction that if I vote for somebody, I support that. I'm accountable for that, and I've not voted. And I met a colonel that served our military, friends with a colonel, and not only did he retire as a colonel, but he also went and worked for the the FBI and TBI years after retiring as a colonel. So he as well has not voted. Me and him had a discussion today since Bush. But when I seen that happen, it stirred in me what I've not felt in a long time, and I'm going to do something I've not done since Bush, whatever year that is. I don't know. There's been some dummies through the years, so I'm going to vote. I've not voted, and I know that Tennessee is going to. We already see that. We know what direction Tennessee is. They're going to win them electoral votes. We know it's going to go to Donald Trump, but it's the point. It's the point that there's a spiritual grit inside of me that got stirred when he done that we have to do something about this country. And listen, it's more than saying, hey, I'm going to pray, because I think spiritual grit, I think that stirring on that happened on me on that Saturday is not to walk around with a mega hat on and putting a Donald Trump sticker on the back of my truck, because I'm not going to do that. To me, is just like people walking around with a Jesus shirt on and a Jesus sticker on their vehicle. That is about as far as most of them ever goes, and that's the way I think about that. And that's scary enough. But I'm saying we need to take in some incentive to begin to fight again, have that spiritual grit and that aggression that you've seen, because our country's worth it. Our country and our next generation is what we're losing. And what do I mean by that? We're seeing kids, parents allowing, 7, 8, 9-year-old kids to make a choice on them through a surgery of transgendering themselves. We're allowing doctors to ruin kids and destroy them, and they're not old enough to even make decisions. Parents, I mean, are ignorant of allowing these things to happen to their own children. And we're just standing back, and and the us Christians has a great word. We're going to pray for you, and scary enough, we don't. It don't ever happen. But I'm saying we got to do more. We got to start. I don't know, man, standing up for what's right. I'm saying not to tear somebody else down, but we got to have a voice too. I want to get out and have a voice too. I want to do it with a different kind of grit, a different kind of not a politic view. I never want to look through the lens of a politics, because that's a horrible lens to look through. But if I had to look through the lens, I want to look through the lens of Abba, the way he looks at me, because gosh knows, man, that I'm a failure, dude. And we have so many people that they're entertained by other people's failures. People gets entertained by other people's pain. It's like hearing all this stuff. They bring up stuff on people. They bring up their past. They bring up. How do you want to how could anybody want to entertain by somebody's pain or failures? I just don't understand it. And then they want to get out here and publicize it on social media. Man, it's a sick world out there, people. And if you're that way, honestly, you need to learn to repent. You need to learn how to have a different way of thinking. If you're entertained by somebody else's failure, even if you like them or don't like them, listen, there are some ignorant people in this world, and we see the political side of it. If you look at the Democratic communism craziness over there, there's some sick people over there. And as sick as they are, I don't look at them and hope that they have I don't stand back and hope they die. I hope we do this thing right. Let's do this thing right. Let's people get out and do what's right. And as a believer, there's got to be some fight left in me and you to do something right, to do something good. And if that means getting out and going and voting, and I'm not saying get caught up in the political part of it, because I will not do that, but I will go and vote for a man like Donald Trump now that I've never had before, nor have I ever supported that because of some of the ways he's treated people. But there's something about a man that's willing to do that for our country, and it stirs something in. So bottom line, why I get on here tonight is just I want you to fight for what's right. That names me that song. You got to fight for what's right to party. But I think some crazy stuff. But man, we got to fight. And I think sometimes fighting isn't, shutting the door sometimes to the closet and getting in there and screaming and hollering and shouting. I think sometimes you got to open up the door to the closet and make our voices effective. It says the righteous, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And I think sometimes it looks different. If you look at Peter, this guy was locked up in prison, had prison guards all around him, was chained to 4 prison guards. He was fixing to face death the next day. And the scripture said that joker was sleeping. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not my way of, I would be in there speaking in 5 different languages and then talking in tongues and screaming and shouting and worshiping. And if I was in his boat, but there's a different way to fight. And sometimes I think his way of fighting is, listen, he trusted the Lord like nobody else. And here comes an angel come up, and it said the angel smite him on the face to even get his attention to wake him up. So I'm saying for some of us, listen, we got to find that peace, but we got to have that grit again. And I just want to encourage you to go out and do that as we come in this ending of this year. Believe it or not, the next 6 months of this year that we're going to go in, I just want to stir that patriotism in you like it did me, and I just want to encourage you to use your voice, and don't use it to tear down. Don't use it to be negative. Don't celebrate and entertain by somebody else's failure. Let these last 6 months, let's go and watch the Lord's hand shift America, because we do still have some people that loves America. We do still have people that cares about freedom. We still have believers, and the churches are full. I still believe in just blood-bought American people, and you have the right to go and vote. You have that right to go and do that. Go and exercise. Use the grit, the spiritual grit that me and you have. Get out there to help shift and change this, because we're headed in a pretty dark direction if me and you don't get out and do these things. So it's important. I just wanted to share my heart, and I've been wanting to the last few weeks since that happened, and I just want to get on here and just encourage you and hope that it just to stir something in you to be Americans again, man. I remember when I was a teenager, and my uncle was sent to Afghanistan to fight in the war, and I just remember seeing a picture. Well, it was a VHS video. I mean, for some of y'all know what that is. I remember that my mom showed us a video of Uncle Jimmy, and he was fixing to board the plane, and he looked over at our family and the flag, and every one of them saluted to that. And I remember as a boy seeing his face and thinking, my God, look, you could see that he was determined. He was determined that they were going to go and make a difference. My uncle, that army cost my uncle, 3 marriages, because he served our country with everything, and went and served in wars, and it cost him 3 marriages. I mean, think about it. He sacrificed everything, and now here my uncle is going, into his 60s, and his body's beat up, his mind, his PTSD. It's a struggle every day of his life, but he had a grit and he loved our country enough that he went and fought for it. And I'm talking about me and you as believers. We can't go over and do those things, and I get that, but I'm saying for some of us, we got to get out here and support what these guys did for us. They laid down their lives and they fought. Men and women abroad fought for me and you to do. If oh yeah, Matt, yeah, that's a bad hat, ain't it, brother? You like that? To see just the blood that you see on the guy's face like that, and I mean, just I don't know. It just, oh man, I don't know. It just does something inside of us, inside of me that caused me to say, we have the right to go out, exercise what we believe, do it with respect, do it with honor, do it with dignity, do it with integrity, and let's watch the hand of God begin to shift this, because we have to trust that God is going to shift this thing, and use that spiritual grit that me and you have. And I want to continue to live in the greatest country in the world, but go into the povertiest countries. Listen. There's nothing that stirs me. I'm telling you the truth, and um, Matt Hobson's on here. He'll know what I mean. And there's nothing more that gives me butterflies and stirs me to know that I have a trip. I mean, coming up, and I'm fixing to get on that airplane. I'm going to go land in the middle of Africa or in the middle of Honduras, um, and I get to go in the midst of people, not only to share the gospel, but to share the kingdom, share the love of God, but I get to share food with that. Not only do I get to share the sacrifice that Jesus made, but I get to go in there and hold up another brother's hand. I get to go in there and I preach the gospel. I give him not only a spiritual food, but a physical food. And there's nothing that fuels me more, man, than getting to do that. I still get butterflies to know I get to go do that. I still feel that in my soul. And what I think what fuels that is that I get to come back home to know that I live in the greatest country in the world, and that I get to be refueled again. Because if I had to live like some of them, I mean, it'd be very difficult to keep a hunger about you. It's very difficult for our family that's in Honduras right now, that they live in a country where it's 85% unemployment rate. Do y'all hear that? 85%. They get up every day, and it's like there is no rest. There is no relaxing. There's no throwing their feet up on the table and kicking back and enjoy. No, it's every day. It's a fight for them. 85% and they just have to do that to eat. But hear me, friends. If me and you don't get this spiritual grit about us, you can take these words I'm telling you, and I'm telling you that that's going to be us in the future. This thing's going to come down and it's going to crash. It's because we're sitting back with our feet is up and we're just letting it all pass by. If you've got any kind of patriotism in you at all, I just say use it. Go and vote. Go and support. Let's go and let's do it together. There's nothing like unity and union. I don't care if you disagree or agree with me, but let's learn how to do it together. And please, by all means, don't be that one that you're entertained by somebody else's pain. Don't fall into the bracket that our government wants us to. If you know somebody that's done something that has messed up, that has failed, all of us have. But if you know them, man, why don't you go and support them and pick them up and help them? We've got a few people in our church that, man, they've done some pretty raw things. But man, I look at them and I see them come into church, and I'm so excited to see them. And I'm so excited to see what God's done for them. They've built their family. They've built a life for themselves. And where most people would look down on them and point fingers at them, and because they've done some pretty rough things. But man, I love seeing them do good. I love seeing them smile. I love seeing them being happy. And listen, don't be entertained by somebody else's pain. Listen, go out and do something good. Go out and be encouragement to them. Love on them. They need that. It's easy to kick a man while they're down. That's for sure. And so I just wanted to hopefully stir something in you, and a little red, a little white, and a little blue. That's all. You know, that's all. I'm going to vote. Something I ain't done in years, and I'm going to vote for that old yellow-headed fella. I don't know. There's something about him that it's something about that stirred in me. When he rose his hand up there, I don't know. I don't know. It just it stirred a little grit in me that, that I don't know, that I hadn't had in a long time because of, some freaking, you know, morons in our political world. And I could use other words, because we got some doozers up there is all I could say. But anyway, and we all know that. But anyway, I'm just blowing and going here. But anyway, yeah, Richard, love you, bro. Thank you for serving, Richard. You're the man. You're the man. He served not only military, but Richard served as a police officer. So, man, I love you, dude. And I appreciate you, and I'm so thankful you're in my family. But anyway, listen, I love you guys, those that's on here and those that listen to. Who's that? Charlie and Connie. I love you guys so much. Guys that get to listen to this, hope it encourages you. That's all I want to do. Appreciate you guys. Hey, have a great weekend. Listen, so excited about the new building. It's coming along so good. I know Dev done a video the other day, but even just from the other day today, it's already made a difference. We got septic tank in the ground today. We got it almost dried in. Listen, give to it. I feel like that it's a good thing to give towards to, and you'll be blessed by it. We still need a few things, really. There's some things that we really need that's above our budget, and not things we really want, just some things we need to make this thing happen. So thank you for sowing. It's a great thing to sow into. I love being up there. I'm usually there every day. I help our Mennonite brothers up there that they work hard, and I'm up there with them. And we are, man, just to see this thing come together is amazing. And I cannot wait till we get together in this new place and just be able to come together, man, as a family and do what we do. That's what I want to do. So I love you so much. No, I have not got the dirt yet because we missed you. And thank you. I'm going to call him, but because of all the vehicles that still everybody's in there working, I want to make sure when he brings that to us that we're out of his way, he can bring it and drop it. So, but this will be done this week with drying it in. So I'm going to call him the first of next week so I can be ready for it. He can bring it and drop it, and we will be ready to start using it. So thank you so much for that, Misty. Love you so much. But yeah, it's thank you. It's a good thing to sow into, to see it from ground zero to coming up, man. It's so good. So listen, I love you. I appreciate you. And listen, I'm going to tell a story soon. Obviously, I'll do it one night when I just feel it. But and I'm closing with this. I got to get off here. I've been on here way too long. But listen, I was over at the property when we first love you too at getting ready to move into the property we're building the church on now, and it was when we first bought the property. I mean, we just bought it, and we stepped on the dirt and was up there kicking around one day, talking what it's going to look like. And I kicked, and I seen the very corner of this tag. And this tag is a Tennessee tag from 1962. 1962. All right. I want to share with you. As soon as I picked it up, the Lord spoke something to me. So I'll share that little with you later on sometimes, but I'm going to hang this up in our new church, and you'll have respect for it when you understand why. But I'm going to hang this up. I've held on to it, and we're going to hang it up in the building when we get done. I'm going to nail it right to the wall because it's significant. But anyway, love you guys. Have a blessed weekend. Listen, come hang out with us Sunday morning. We've just been stewarding just an amazing service, man. I mean, I look forward to seeing what's going to happen Sunday. It's been a great move of God. So come hang out with us down there in Normandy. Love you guys. Y'all be blessed.